In the last segment, we showed you how to center the Spiro attachment on your quilt block. We decided that we were going to make this pattern here. So we're going to use gear E in square hole 3 with no reducer ring. In this video segment, we'll go ahead and set up this design and stitch it out, and then we'll also stitch out another design that will use the reducer gear so that you'll get to see how that works. So for right now, we want gear E, square hole 3 without the reducer ring. First, we'll find square hole 3, which is right here. Now we'll want to set square hole 3 at the 3 o'clock position. All of the setup that we're going to do is going to take place at 3 o'clock position. So square hole 3 is there at 3 o'clock. We're going to take our square drive shaft and stick it through the Spiro attachment into square hole 3. Next, we're going to have to install gear E in the correct cartridge holder. You'll see that there are 2 cartridge holders in this base. The correct cartridge holder is the one that's going to be closest to the gear. So we're going to use this cartridge holder here because this cartridge holder here would not allow the gears to engage the outside gear. So with the square drive shaft in square hole 3, we'll take gear E and we'll set it on top of the drive shaft, and we'll place it down so that it engages the cartridge holder. Sometimes that won't go in so quick and easy like it did that time, and so you may have to wiggle things around a little bit and get it to drop in. Again, we want to make sure that gear E is at the 3 o'clock position. You'll know that that's correct when the letter E is upright. After the gear cartridge is installed, we'll place the crank handle on. The crank handle will also be pointing to the 3 o'clock position. You'll know this is correct when the word quiltazoid on the crank handle is reading upright. Finally, we'll take the lock knob and insert it through the square shaft and tighten it down slightly so that the cartridge is held in place. Now everything's in place, we can go ahead and stitch our design. We'll simply turn the crank When the design is finished, you'll come back to where you started from. We can loosen everything up and move out of the way. And you can see what your finished design looks like. Now, if we want to make a design using the reducer ring, first of all, we'll select from our Spiro design catalog a design that we want to work with. For this sample, we'll use this design here, which is calling for use of the reducer ring, gear B, and square hole 3.5. So we'll set this up just the same as we did before, except this time we'll use the reducer ring. First of all, we'll center the Spiro attachment on our quilt block like we've done before. With the needle down in the quilt, we'll use the centering tool to again find the center of the quiltazoid base plate. We'll drop the centering tool in. We'll lock the toggle clamp. And we'll lock the two black knobs. Now once again the spiral attachment is centered in the quilt block. We'll raise the needle out of the fabric. And now we'll install the gears. When we're using the reducer gear, we'll lay it in kind of flat and drop it in so that the outside teeth on the reducer ring will mesh with the teeth on the spiral attachment. This time you can see that the original gear cartridge pocket that we used on the first sample is no longer available. It's hidden now by the reducer ring. So we'll have to use this cartridge pocket here. First we'll find square hole 3.5, which is right here. We'll set that to the 3 o'clock position. We'll install the square drive shaft into that hole. We'll take gear B and we'll insert it over the square drive shaft. Again, we'll install the crank handle so the word Quiltazoid reads upright. We'll install the lock knob, and now we're again ready to stitch. Once we return to the starting point, the design is complete and you can cut your threads.